This is Charlie Mike, the podcast. Veterans helping veterans, talking about things happening in the veteran community, things we've experienced and overcome, such as addictions, PTSD, depression, legal trouble. And we also promote veteran-owned businesses. If you're talking about it, we're talking about it. This is Charlie Mike, the podcast.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of excuse me, I almost said the wrong podcast. This is Charlie Mike, the podcast. I'm your host, as always, Ro, and this is our co-host.
That's right.
William.
Hey, everybody. I made the website. Woo!
Yeah, we liked him, so we kept asking him to come back. Man.
Yeah, so made it official.
What you been doing, bro?
Man,
how was your week?
Life is good. I am blessed.
Man,
you know, it's good. It's good. It's been busy. Weather's been great down here.
Yeah.
And today's opening day, in case y'all don't know that.
Man, yeah. I meant to put my hat on, but it's right over there. It's far.
What you been up to?
Man, not much. Just chilling, man. Working, man. Just trying to get back into doing what I'm doing, man.
Yeah.
We had the chance to go visit Camp Valor.
Yeah, Camp Valor was nice, man.
Man,
that's
cool. That's something that I'm gonna go full strength on, man. I really like what they're doing out there.
Yeah. Time to double down. You know, it was cool because last week, we had a few folks call in, and the week before we went out to the Birdwell Foundation, and they invited us to come out, and we said, okay, let's do it. Yeah. So we went out and visited Camp Valor, which is a Birdwell Foundation, and they need some help. They need some help.
They sure do, man. So we'll definitely get that out there. Right now, man, let's bring in our special guest. Our special guest today is going to be Andrew. Andrew is with
Irreverent
Warriors. He was making fun of the way I was pronouncing it.
Oh man, that's not
true. What's going on, Andrew?
Not much, man. What's up, guys?
You doing all right?
Yeah, I'm doing all right.
Well, man,
grinding away.
I heard that, man. What do you you work? What do you do? What do you do for a living?
I do automotive detailing and paint protection film installation.
Okay. Yeah,
it's a mouthful.
Yeah, man. Tell us a little bit about your military career, man.
So I spent 13 years in the Massachusetts Army National Guard. Originally enlisted as an 11 Bravo, which is just infantry, and I enlisted when I was 17 in high school. So they had the split option. I'm not sure if you're familiar with that, where from junior year to senior year, I went to basic training. Mm-hmm. And then once I graduated, I'd go back for AIT. It was the worst decision ever.
Really?
Yeah. Everyone's like, "Oh, you lucked out. You got to go home." Like, yeah, but then I had to come back in the same shape. Like,
right.
Like, I graduated the first time at week 9, and when I went back, I restarted at week 7.
Oh man,
it did more time. Oh. It was awful. So what happened when I went back for AIT is we had to wait at the 30th AG in Benning for a train battalion to come close to where we left off. And when it came up, I was probably at the 30th for like 4 weeks. It was miserable.
Jeez.
So we got to Delta 219.
Oh yeah. I was in Bravo 219. Crazy.
And the first sergeant there's 4 of us. He pulled us aside and he's like, "Look, check it out. I don't got Bravo slots. All I got is Charlie slots." He's like, "So you could reclass to Charlie and it won't affect your bonus, or you could go back to the 30th and wait for another train battalion." And I was like, "There's no way in hell I'm going back to the 30th." So I ended up being a Charlie.
Wow.
Not by choice.
Okay. Yeah.
So I did that for 13 years. When I got back from AIT, it was that same year. It was probably like 3 months after my unit was deploying, and they asked if I wanted to go, and I said absolutely, I'll go. So we did.
Right. What year is this?
This 2006. I enlisted 2000 New Year's Eve of 2003 into 2004.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were still in woodland camo when I went in.
Mm-hmm.
Me too. Yo, him too.
Yeah, bro. Yeah. I went in 05.
Yeah, me too. I think we were like one of the last ones.
Yeah. Shine boots and everything.
Yeah, man. Oh man,
Well,
but
we
it,
did.
it looked sharp. It looked sharp though. I did too.
I still do.
You still shine boots? Yeah, I don't shine
No,
boots.
it's a different kind of shine now.
And, I take them to get them done.
Yeah, that's right. Those days are behind me.
Yeah,
So
man.
2006, deployed to Kosovo. We were K48. We were the 36th ID out of Texas actually ripped us in.
Wow.
Uh,
So you're
yeah,
connected to Texas for a long time now.
yeah, connected to Texas. I mean, even when I got back from deployment, I was looking into career fields and what I wanted to do, and I was actually looking at UTI. Is it UTI or
Yeah,
UIT?
Yeah.
Yeah, I
And
think it's you. No, that's
Yeah.
urinary
UTI.
tract infection. I don't think
No,
that's
it's
right.
UTI, bro.
Is it really?
Same but different.
It's the same type of pain.
So University Technology Institute or something like that.
Okay,
Yeah.
And
yeah.
I think I was looking into being a body man, and the school was actually out in Houston. So I do have roots to Texas before I even had the thought of moving here.
Right. That's dope.
Yeah. So that man, yeah. No. Keep talking, man. I was gonna cut you off, but keep talking.
No. So let's see where we're picking up. It was 2006. You went in. You did a tour to Kosovo. Come back. You're looking at UTIs,
Mhm.
Yeah.
but the education kind.
He's-
Well, they're both educational moments in both areas, too.
You learn a lot.
I give them. I don't get them.
You gotta stay clean, bro.
I mean, that deployment was it was like 16 months total. It was because with the guard you got to mobilize and then demobilize, and then we spent 12 months in country. And it was actually only us and the 36th that did 12 months in country. Everyone else did 6.
Wow.
Yeah.
And we were the last rotation where it was still a combat zone.
Right. Right.
The rotation after us is when Kosovo got its independence.
Wow.
That's interesting. Did not know that.
Yeah. So that's that was your that's basically what you did while you were in throughout that time. Did you get another deployment after that?
No, I didn't get another deployment. So we got back, and then with the guard, were any of you guys in the guard?
Mm-mm.
All right. So the way the guard works, or at least my understanding is, you typically know where you're going within 3
Right.
years. So like you get back from a rotation, you already know in 3 years you're going to deploy somewhere else.
Okay.
You know where you're going to go. You just don't know where you're going to do until you get closer. But it was coming down the pipe that they were going to Afghanistan, and I was excited for it because I didn't do a mortar mission in Kosovo. I was just a regular infantry guy. In fact, I was the only mortar in the company.
Yeah.
Because the entire company, to fit the MTO, they didn't have enough people to fill infantry slots. So the entire battalion transitioned to cavalry.
Wow.
So I mean, when I took that Charlie slot from Benning, that's
Yeah.
what I had in my mind. Is like, I'm reclassing anyway. I don't care. Not knowing that 19 Deltas have orders, so I didn't have to reclass.
Yeah, Lee.
All right. It's funny the way the Army works that way,
Isn't
man.
it?
It's
Yeah,
Like, all right.
it is funny. Where was I going with that?
Oh, you were talking about your time in, your deployment back, and you said 13 years total. So you recently freshly.
Oh yeah. So yeah, we got the word that they were going to Afghanistan. I think it was so they deployed in 2011, I think, but 2010 is New Year's Eve of 2010 into 2011 was my ETS date. And as it kept getting closer, I kept asking what the mission was. Like, I want to do more stuff.
Right.
And you know how your platoon sergeant is, they amping you up and shit. Like, yeah, that's what we're gonna be doing, son.
Like, of course.
Sweet, hell yeah, I want to do that. And but the mission kept changing like every month. So
As they do.
I was
Yeah.
very hesitant to re-enlist, and I was like, man, I'm just gonna wait. So
Yeah.
finally, the last month that I had to re-enlist, I pulled my platoon sergeant aside, and I was like, no bullshit, dude. Like, what are we doing over there? And he's like, all right, so we're gonna be doing fob security on Camp Phoenix. And I was like, I'm getting out. Like, I am not doing another Kosovo mission.
It's a hard pass.
I ETS'd, and I was out for maybe 3 months, and then I didn't really learn skill as an infantryman, especially not as a mortarman.
Oh, I disagree.
It doesn't really translate to civilian life. So I went and spoke with my recruiter again, and tried reclass, and I tried reclassing to light wheel mechanic. And this was back just before the downside started happening with the military.
Mhm.
All our units in Mass Guard were at like 110%. So what they were doing, that was an E5 at the time. What they were doing, or what they would do, is they would double slot E5s into slots, or they just double slot people into units. So that's what they did with me. And I only enlisted for a year because he was like, look, dude, if you don't like what you see, just get out.
Yeah.
I was like, smart man.
Yeah.
So that's what I did. And they kind of gave me the runaround a bit. And then so I ended up at same battalion, just the forward support company, which was a non-deployable company. And so I get there, the downsize starts happening. This was probably like 5 months into my contract. And they're like, hey, so we got some news for you. We don't have any slots for E5s to be light wheel mechanics. So you could either be a generator mechanic or you could be a welder. And my platoon sergeant at the time was like, I would take the generator mechanics. It's kind of in line with light wheel, and welder max is out at E5, so there's nowhere for you to move. So I was like, all right, I'll do that. Sign the counseling. And then it was maybe the next month or 2 months after, they're like, hey, so you got to re-enlist. So we can't send you to school if your contract's up.
Right.
So I was like, okay, cool. I'll re-enlist. So I did another year, and I swear in. And then the following month, I get a call from my platoon sergeant. He's like, so I got some good news, some bad news.
Oh, shit.
It's like, oh, shit. He's like, you didn't score high enough on the ASVAB for generator mechanic. And I was like, why wasn't that the first thing you checked for?
Right.
But anyway, he's like, so you could go to AIT in California, or you could get command directed back to the infantry. And I was like, what's out in California? And he said, cook school. I said, all right, I'm going back to the infantry.
Yeah.
We just talk about that.
Like, that choice is pretty easy for me.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And then around that time is when they started doing the bonuses again, and they got my ass.
Right.
They got my ass for
So
another.
this whole time you're in mass doing this?
Yeah, the entire time. And actually, when I moved here to Texas in 2015, and my contract still wasn't up, so I was flying back for drills.
No way,
Wow,
bro.
really?
Yeah, they tried getting me again, man. They're like, hey, you don't have time on your contract for us to transfer you to Texas. I was like, that sounds like horseshit.
Yeah.
So they're like, if you could re-enlist and we could transfer you, I was like, no. Nope.
Yeah.
Like, I'm just gonna finish this
Yeah,
out, and if I want to re-enlist, I'll just enlist down there.
Yeah.
Not getting me again.
Yeah. That makes sense. You learned.
Well, it took 13 years.
It takes us all different. Yeah. How many times did I enlist? I know.
How many times did you enlist?
I did about 10 years.
Jeez.
I with 10 and some change, but I feel like I enlisted more.
Man, I just had a memory pop up. It was my last enlistment.
Yeah.
San Antonio though.
Oh, San Antonio.
Yeah, it was cool.
I would have said I want it in the water of the Riverwalk.
Actually, I did it in the tower.
Okay, that's cool too.
Yeah, man. Yeah. I ain't no joke.
Yeah.
So that was cool.
Yeah.
So what? So you've been out since 2000 and I guess 19, 16. Man, I got some horrible math skills.
16, man. Hey, when you first got out, bro, how was adjusting back to civilian life?
Man, with the Guard, you live in civilian life. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think that's what's completely different about the Guard is so that's what I didn't talk about is when I got back from my deployment. Um, I wasn't in the active side, so I don't know how the active side works. But what I assume is you guys get back and you're still with the same people.
Yeah.
For most of the time, yeah.
Yeah.
You know, in the Guard, once you demobilize and you get back to your unit, they're like, all right, bye, see you in 3 months, and you just get thrown right back into civilian life. So, you know, I remember going back to my job in Lowe's, and it's like 3 weeks ago, I was walking around with a belt-fed machine gun.
Right.
Damn,
Now
Hey,
I have people asking me where the paint aisle is. Like,
yeah.
I don't know. Like,
Yeah. I don't care. Yeah.
I think the biggest struggle was like even forgetting how to dress yourself. Like I wore the same thing every day. It
Yeah.
was easy.
Yeah,
It
we
was
talked about
simple.
that a
That's
little
right.
bit. Yeah.
Yeah, man. Yeah. So you didn't have, besides that, you didn't have really too much trouble adjusting back. Like since you said there was kind of more or less. Well, after your deployment, did you notice any difference in yourself? Did your family notice what was going? If you had any issues?
Um, I didn't have any issues per se. But that it was it's a culture shock. You going from a small group of people where you don't need to use words to communicate. Like I
Right.
could look at my battle buddy and he knows exactly what I'm thinking.
Right.
And then you know, you're back in civilian life and you don't even know the words to express yourself in a way that someone's going to understand you without judging you. And I think that was the hardest transition. And especially, you know, you coming back to a civilian career where a lot of people don't stay in their own lane. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
you knew where you stood in the pecking order in the military, and you did your job. You mind your own business. You smoke and joke with your friends and all that.
Yeah.
But you know, you come back into civilian career where everyone's like kind of backstabbing, and you try to come in with that same trust level that you had in the military, and it just sets you up for
Yeah.
failure.
You won't have it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no,
You
and
won't
I
have
think
it.
that's the hardest transition.
Yeah. That makes sense. I see that. I see that. You man, how did you get involved with the organization?
The organization we're talking about today,
How do you say it?
Irreverent.
Irreverent Warriors.
So actually, so we moved here in 2015. Back in Massachusetts, they used to have what was called the Tough Ruck. They used to
Oh
do it
yeah.
at the same time as the Boston Marathon,
Oh cool.
but after the bombing, um, they nixed that. They said no packs, no rucks during the marathon at all. So it kind of had to split off and be its own thing. Now I never partook in the Tough Ruck because it was like you did it in your uniform and it was timed, and I was like, I'm not doing all that.
Yeah.
But I like the idea of it. So when we moved to Texas, well, I'll say this: when I got out of the military, I kind of wanted nothing to do with the military.
Shocker.
Mhm.
Yeah. You're like I'm done.
It was actually
Good.
my wife that got me back involved, and like we didn't. So when we moved here, we didn't know anyone. We didn't move here because we had family here. We didn't move here because we had friends here. We just moved.
Why? Just cause?
Just
Like
wanted to get the hell out of Massachusetts.
Massachusetts, yeah, I feel that. So what part of Texas are you in right now?
I'm in Round Rock.
Round
Just
Rock. Oh,
north
that's a
of,
nice little. I don't know. Is it still little?
you know, more like a suburb of Austin, right?
I haven't really been
yeah,
out there in a
Austin's
while.
pouring into everything, man.
Yeah. I mean, Houston's the same way.
Yeah.
Freaking taking over all the little cities.
So I think it was around 2017. She found this other organization, but they were doing a hike out in College Station, and she's like, "We need to do something. You need to get out of the house." And I was like, "I'm not interested." And she's like, "Well, if you don't go, then I'm going alone." And I was like, "Oh, I'm not gonna do that." Like, yeah, I gotta go now. So I went. I ended up meeting the local coordinator out there. It wasn't with the Reverend Warriors. It was a different organization. But while I was there, I was talking to him about the Tough Ruck and all that. Like, you know, I'd like to do one of those big time hikes like that. You know, 26 miles or so. I think that'd be great. And I think it was about a week later, this fool calls me. He's like, I got an idea, man. let's do a 75 miler from Fort Hood to Austin. And I was like, all right, let's do it.
Let's do it.
So I helped coordinate this. We're expecting maybe 20, 30 people doing it. They're crazy enough like us. But we actually started on Fort Hood, and the week prior to the event, they started spreading the word on Fort Hood. We had about 130 people show up to it.
Wow.
I was like, you guys
For the first event, man, that's pretty cool.
Like, we were not prepared for this logistically at all.
Yeah.
Shocker. No way.
I plan on like 20, 30 people, 130 fools show up.
That's crazy.
So the first day of the event, like I said, I didn't know anyone. So the people that were helping coordinate, they all knew everyone, and they just happened to know Cindy, who's our CEO. I don't think she was at the time, but she was involved with the organization. I met her the first day. She was helping us drive support vehicles. So that's where I found out about Irreverent Warriors. But like, I heard it was more of like a party organization. I wasn't too interested in any of that.
Yeah.
But that's when I heard of them. And then I actually met one of my really good friends to this day, Kevin McNeese. He came out to my event. He was a BRCC rep, so he was brewing coffee for everyone for free and all that. He ended up being the lead coordinator for Round Rock, the first Round Rock hike in 2018. So it was really him that got me involved with the organization, and it was more of me just showing up to his event to support him. Come out to his event, support him, and all that. And that was my first hike, was Round Rock in 2018, but it didn't really resonate with me because, like I said, I wasn't like into the party thing, wasn't really going through a hard time per se. So it just didn't resonate with me. I just went out to support him. It wasn't until 2019, my dad passed from pancreatic cancer. And,
sorry to hear that, man.
And it was that weekend, like, I flew up there to see him. And then that weekend was the Dallas hike in 2019.
Mm-hmm.
And I was on the flight back home. The flight was delayed. Like, I didn't get in until like 2 a.m. in Austin. And Kevin calls me. He's like, we're going to the Dallas hike. I was like, dude, I'm not landing until like 2 a.m. He's like, it's cool. I'll pick you up at 3. We're going
you don't
to
need
Dallas
much.
hike. I was like,
sleep on the plane.
Like, okay, man. So we land at 2, get to the house by like 2:30, pack what I can, and then he's at the door at 3. He's like, let's go. We're going to Dallas. So we went up to the Dallas hike, and I didn't talk to anyone during that hike. He's a social butterfly. I'm more like introverted. Like, I don't like my therapy is kind of sitting back and just watching people have a good time. But
sounds familiar.
Yeah, like I wasn't telling my story or anything. I was just there just hanging out, and he was the one like spouting off, and everyone's coming up to me like, man, I'm so sorry to hear about your loss, and give me hugs and give me love. That's what I needed.
Yeah, that's what's up, man.
And that's what this organization is.
Yeah. So that's how that's how it became. That's how you became part of it.
Yeah. So Kevin was still leading the Round Rock hike, and he wanted to step down from it because he started doing some filming with Vet TV.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, I'm going to be spending all my time on that, so I can't really focus on this. Like, if anyone's going to take it over, I want it to be you. And I was like, okay. So he put that up to Cindy, and Cindy took me on board. I led. Man, I think it was like 6 or 7 months into being the Round Rock coordinator. She's like, so are you okay with taking over the entire state? And I was like,
oh, wow.
Texas?
So it took over, I took on Texas, and then she's like, and I'm also adding Oklahoma and Louisiana into that mix too.
Yeah.
And
all right.
Then last year she's like, well, you want a whole region?
Wow. Yeah.
Man, at one point I was overseeing more hikes than we had the year I started.
Wow. That's crazy.
I was like, this is getting too much. I was up to like 34 hikes or something like that. I'm like, I can't do all this
in a year.
It's taxing, man.
34 a
Right?
year. That's how much you were
What's
hosting.
that?
You were hosting 34 hikes a year.
I've only been in a leadership position since 2019 with the organization.
Yeah.
So
how many hikes have you done?
Man, I don't know.
Generally, let's see how many happen within a year in Texas.
In Texas right now, let's see. Texas, when I took over, I think had 7 hikes, and then there was one in Louisiana, one in Oklahoma, and right now today we're at 9 hikes in Texas, one in Louisiana, one in Oklahoma.
Yeah.
Now I oversee. I lose track of what I oversee because it changes like every month.
Blurs.
And those are just the hikes. That's not to include the events that you go out and help with, or just to appear at.
So we could get into that. When I first came on board, everything was focused and revolved around the hikes. When I came on board, it was when they were pushing for a culture change. Mm-hmm. So the organization is very transparent about where we came from. We don't lie about what our start was. And like I had mentioned, when it started, it was a party.
Yeah, and that's what everybody thinks about when they think of still to this day, unfortunately. But they think of the party. They think of the Silky Hikes as a pub crawl.
Yeah.
And that's how it started. But I think that's why at first it was so effective, is because you have other organizations that, not that I'm talking bad about other organizations. Everyone does a good job, but I think when you're transitioning out, the last thing you want to do is go sit down with someone that's going to talk to you like you're still in the military.
Yeah.
Like, I just want to go out and have a good time. I don't want people to ask me how I'm feeling. I don't want people to make me open up to them when I don't even know them. Like, I just want to go have a good time. And if I open up, I open up.
Right.
And I think that's why we're so effective. I mean, the first Austin hike in like 2016 generated like 900 veterans.
Yeah. Shit.
And the following year, it generated like a 1,200.
It's crazy.
I mean, we're not touching those numbers anymore, but and I'm glad, because that's a nightmare. I think our Fort Worth hike generates the most people, and I think last year we were pushing 400 people. That gets crazy.
Houston, step your game up, bro.
Yeah, I'm surprised. You look like y'all had a good crowd out there in Galveston.
Yeah, we were probably close to 200.
Yeah,
that's a good size crowd that you can control. You know what I mean?
Shit,
y'all
can control that.
Big. Yeah. I mean, you've seen Metzger. No one can cross that dude.
Nah, hell no one is. That's a big dude, man.
He wants to hike alone.
Yeah. That's a big dude. Yeah.
So what does a reverend mean to you? I mean, of course, I googled Irreverent and what the language means, but what does Reverend Warriors means to you personally?
Well, Irreverent is taking something serious and making a joke about it, right? That was our entire career.
Yeah.
You take something serious and you find a way to laugh about it, because if you don't laugh, then you're gonna cry or you're gonna be angry.
Right. Yeah.
And I think that's how it transitioned into this organization. Is it's all about laughs. Like, we don't have to be serious. We could just come out and be ourselves, and it's okay.
Yeah, I like that, man. I like that. So, have you appeared on Vet TV yet, man?
No. I'm usually behind the scenes.
Yeah.
This is awkward for you, huh?
Yeah, they can't get you out there.
Like, hey, by the way, you gotta go do this appearance.
That's why a lot of people don't know me. I just kind of stay behind the scenes and let everyone else take charge. So I'm not in it for that. You know what I mean? I'm here. Our mission is to prevent veteran suicide, and that's what I want to do.
Yeah.
I don't need glory to do that.
Man, bravo, brother.
It's just something that needs to happen. But Vet TV, a lot of people, when they think of Irreverent Warriors, they reference Vet TV. They are a sister organization. They are one of our national sponsors. But the two are different things. Vet TV operates how Vet TV operates, and Irreverent Warriors is a completely different animal.
I saw, man, one of y'all sponsors is Rippets, and I almost gagged. I almost threw up in my mouth, bro.
You do not like Ribbits. It's the sugar-free, whatever the mango one was. Oh, I can't do those.
We used to have
The
those
orange ones,
We used to
right?
have the fruit punch, man. The fruit
Oh,
punch
no,
is
man. It's the sugar-free ones I can't do.
yeah.
The other ones I don't mind.
No,
They're really good.
I'm not talking bad on Rippets. You know,
Yeah, bro,
that's
you're,
awesome,
you're
man.
killing our spot.
Yeah, I know.
That was our inside connection.
I mean, they're delicious.
Back to,
Yeah.
back to Topo Chicos.
And they fueled the war. They
Yeah,
fueled
man,
the entire
for real,
war.
bro.
For real.
Yeah, man. The little 8-ounce cans were,
hmm
you know.
They did, man. They did. That's probably all. No, I'm not gonna say that. I was gonna say something else, but we'll keep that. Yeah. So, man, the camaraderie that you guys bring together is pretty amazing, man. You know, going to I've been to a couple of them. I went to the one that they had in Houston, and I had a buddy who was a big. He would. Well, actually, my buddy Steven still goes to all the events. But it's always a good time. It's always a good time. And like I told you, the only reason I stopped attending was because I stopped drinking, man. And I just didn't want to feel, you know, pressure. I don't know if pressure is the word because I'm grown. You really can't pressure me to do anything I don't want to do. Yeah. For the most part. Influence maybe.
Influence.
And that's actually been the huge push in the culture change when I first came in. We want to be a safe space for everyone. We want everyone to attend. We don't want anyone to feel pressured to do anything. You don't get pressured to talk about anything. We definitely don't want any sober veterans showing up and being pressured to drink. So but that's changing the community. You know what I mean? You have to make that change, and that change could be slow sometimes.
Right.
And you got to lead by example. And that's what we've kind of been focused on. I mean, Reverend Warriors has a recovery group. We absolutely want our sober veterans to come out, and you don't have to drink.
Yeah, I heard an interesting stat today. It says 70% of the world's population does not drink.
70%?
70% of the world's population does not drink alcohol.
That don't sound realistic.
But the U.S. consumes 90%.
Okay, that sounds more realistic.
of the illegal drug market too, and it's like we talk about that a lot. It's just so mainstream. Military culture, you're just used to running and getting up and going do PT after a night of, consuming.
Getting down.
Getting down
with the get down. Yeah, man. So how did I want to ask you a question. So the Silkies, how did that become a thing?
So the first hike ever, which was our founder Donnie O'Malley.
Hold on, can you tell me what is a Silkie?
It's the Ranger.
I know what it is.
Oh, yeah.
I know what it is. I'm just saying, describing it. You know what I mean? So that the non-military audience can understand what a Silkie is.
So our short shorts, our running shorts.
Yeah.
I think they've been out of service for quite some time now, but we're all familiar with what they are.
Yeah, we know
the short running shorts. But so Donnie, back in 2015, he had lost a friend to suicide, and he just wanted to do a hike and get with his friends and go out bar crawling and have a good time. And I think it was one of his friends that suggested, "Hey, why don't we do it in Silkies?" And he laughed about it. He's like, "You know what? Fuck it, yeah, let's do it in Silkies." And it stuck. I mean, and that's the huge thing with our hikes is that's part of that's one of the icebreakers is you can't take yourself so seriously when you're wearing short shorts.
Yeah, I've seen some of the things those guys wear, man. It's sometimes it's funny, like, oh man.
I mean, some people they take it and they run with it, and
they run with it, all right. Yeah.
And that's part of it is it's them being themselves, man. So your entire career in the military, you had to be who they told you to be. That was what was required of you. But you're still a person, you know, and that's what they demanded from you. But that's not who you are. That's not who you need to be when you get out.
Mm-hmm.
When you can show up to one of these hikes, dress however the hell you want to dress, and People are gonna laugh, but they're not gonna make fun of you.
Yeah.
They're definitely not gonna. They're not
They'll
gonna
be proud
judge
of
you
you.
over it.
Yeah.
They'd be very proud of you.
You'll be celebrated.
Medina's big. Oh my
Is he?
gosh, yeah. Marky, if you're listening, bro, man, can't wait to see the silky hike.
Man,
Yeah.
we saw them they in the Galveston. I saw pictures. They were taking drinks out of a certain military object.
The AT-4 loose.
That was it.
Yeah.
I was like, man, who thought of that? I would have never thought about that. I would never would have been like, man, I want to shoot a beer from that.
Definitely an E4.
yeah, no doubt. Man, that cracked me up, man.
Hey Andrew, what's the most misunderstood thing about Irreverent Warriors?
It's that it's a bar crawl.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what it was for sure. That's what it was, but it's not what it is anymore. Mark Metzger still runs his hikes, kind of the same. He stays in line with our SOPs and our standards and all that, but his hike has kind of run the same since the start. And every hike's got its own flavor, but every hike is different for Mark's, and every city is different from every city. We don't focus so much on the drinking; it's more of just the connection. Of course, some cities all they have is bar stops, but that's just what the city limits them to. Like here in Round Rock, for example, if you blink, you're through downtown. It's a very tiny town.
So it hasn't changed.
It's a lot of land, but it's a small downtown, so we have to break that up, and we try to do park stops, and there's events and activities at the parks. We get food trucks out there, so that's the other thing too, is everything's covered except for the alcohol. Of course, we can't buy you guys alcohol.
Right.
Buy your own. But
you'll go broke really quick.
Well, and that also looks bad on the organization.
Yeah. I know.
But we try to cover as much as we can. So the event itself is free, and we cover all the food. We cover breakfast, we cover lunch, and we cover dinner.
Oh man, so it's like an all day thing.
Yes. It usually kicks off around 8 a.m. and it can go up until 6 p.m. So it's an all day affair. It's not an athletic event. It's a very slow stroll. So we're not focused on the pain. We're focused on the connection, people talking and having a good time. And we also have amputees show up. We have people in wheelchairs show up. So we go as fast as the slowest person. And it's crucial that we stick together. We start together, we finish together. You don't have to. There's no requirements. You don't have to bring any weight. You don't want to wear the silkies, don't wear the silkies. Mm-hmm. The only requirements is you show up.
Yeah, I think the last one. Oh, was Macho Man there? I think. No, that was the Ultimate Warrior, right? Yeah. I could have sworn I saw like a Hulk Hogan.
And then Christian's the co-coordinator for Round Rock. He dressed up as the Macho Man.
The Macho Man, that's what it was. Yeah. So Mark is the attorney in Galveston who was recently during Halloween was arrested. Yeah. The Michael Myers.
Yeah.
that was him.
Yeah, that's right. I remember.
Terry says not to trust this guy. He smells of simple green
and brasso. Oh, Terry does get around to the silkies.
Yeah, Terry is everywhere.
Terry is everywhere.
Garrison flag, man, his 30-foot pole.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, animal. He was. I saw that. He was at the Val 22 event holding that damn flag. I was like, man.
I met Terry about a year ago, man.
Terry's crazy, man. He said, "I'm a vet whore."
Everybody knows Terry.
Yeah, we know. So, man, what are the some of the different other things that y'all do besides the silky hikes, man? I know y'all do different things.
So like I had said back in 2019, everyone was kind of focused on the hikes and getting the hikes right, and that's been my main push for my AOR, at least, is not focusing on the hike so much. The hike is kind of like the catalyst to building your community, and then once the community's built, you got to keep it going, man. Because what it was is people just doing the hikes and then that's it. It was
Yeah.
one event a
Yeah.
year,
Mm.
and so we started being really active here in the Austin area. And I think the first event we had was it was right after our Round Rock hike. We had leftover funds from the hike. So that's another thing is every city raises its own funds, and those funds stay with that city. They don't go to the national organization. They stay local. So we had leftover funds, and I'm like, we can't just sit on this money. Like we got to do other stuff. So we ended up doing a Thanksgiving for veterans that didn't have
Yeah.
anywhere to go.
Freaking love Thanksgiving.
Bravo.
Like I mentioned, I don't have family here.
Yeah.
My family's Reverend Warriors. So we put on a Thanksgiving for whoever didn't have anywhere to go, and we generated like 70 people.
That's badass, man.
Wow.
So
And you do it on Thanksgiving?
Yeah, we
So you
did it
did
on
it?
Thanksgiving.
Wow, man. Yeah. That's a big turnout.
That's awesome.
And
And Round Rock, you're so close to a military base too. It's like,
Yeah.
you know,
Clean's at least like an hour and a half north.
oh, maybe not.
Is it that far? I mean, I remember driving.
Right, it's not far when you're younger.
Yeah, I guess not, man. Just like I closed my eyes and we were there.
Yeah, that's been my main push is and it's really difficult to do because we already ask so much of our local coordinators. The entire
Right.
organization is volunteer run, except for the CEO and the COO. Everyone's on a volunteer basis.
Oh no shit! I didn't know
They
that.
do this. They do this when they have the time. I mean, it's the same with me. I work 50 hours a week. I have 4 kids, and I commit what time I can to the organization. So it can be really tough to organize events. I mean, it's difficult enough to organize a hike. I mean, I could go over the checklist. The checklist goes from 9 months out all the way to the week of.
Right.
Wow.
It's a process.
It's a
man.
lot of work, man.
Yeah, absolutely. So it could be taxing to ask someone to do more events, but it needs to happen because no one else is going to do it. And that's why this organization exists, is because we're tired of waiting for people to do stuff. We're just going to do it. But we've had success here in the Austin area. I don't know if you guys follow the Austin group at all.
I follow him on Facebook. Yeah.
Yeah. So we had a comedy show like a few months back, and two of the comedians that showed up were like, dude, we want to do a monthly comedy show for veterans down at the Creek and Cave in Austin. I was like, sweet, let's do it. So
Nice.
that's a monthly event that veterans could get in for free and just have a good time.
Are veterans the comedians?
Some of the comedians are veterans, not
wow.
not all of them, but
Yeah.
they try to generate veteran comedians for the crowd.
I can just imagine.
I can imagine.
I can just imagine it.
It's a
We've
good
come across
time.
some funny dudes in our service, man.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's what I was like, all right. Yeah.
But just trying to get events like that going on a monthly basis, or and we're trying to break up the events too. We don't want it to be just bar meetups. We're thinking of like sober hikes, like nature hikes, smaller hikes, like maybe 5 miles or so. Just go out in nature. Like I think we have one coming up. I don't have the date, but it's
Yeah,
gonna be a
man.
nature trail up in Georgetown. We'll buy lunch for everyone that shows up, and we're just gonna walk and hang out. It'll be a sober event, and then we're planning family days because there are people that don't come to our events because it's like, hey, I got my kids that weekend.
Yeah.
Like, sorry, no kids on the hike. It's just and no civilians. It's veterans only.
Yeah.
If you have family members, they can meet us at the stops, but only veterans on the hike. So
Yeah. See, that's difficult.
and I can see how that could push
Mhm.
some people away. But
Yeah.
we want to bring them back in, and we want to do other events. Like last weekend, we did coffee and camaraderie. We just went to
Okay.
a coffee shop in downtown Austin, and
I like that, man.
I wonder if I know a coffee
20
guy.
20 veterans showed up for that. So
Yeah. That's awesome, man. That y'all are doing other things besides the silky hike, man. And
Yeah.
yeah, that's awesome. The coffee, man, I dig that, man. That's awesome right there. Hey, Terry said you're welcome for his service, by the way.
well, thank you for my service.
He's crazy, man.
Yeah.
What else
So
got?
what you got? What's the next silky hike you got coming up?
We actually have in Texas. I'm just looking at my calendar. Hold on.
Yeah, me too. Hold on. Go ahead.
We have, if you're in Tennessee, we have Chattanooga coming up on the 23rd, and if you're in Texas, we have New Braunfels on the 30th.
Sweet.
Write that one down.
We'll write that one down.
Yeah.
Charlie Mike trip.
And my Charlie Mike might cover.
Hey, baby,
the
for listening, we're going to New Braunfels. Babe, I got to commit on camera.
Hey, I'm gonna need a written permission slip.
Okay. You got to supply
the coordinator out in New Braunfels actually led the San Antonio hike for the past 2 years. And this will be a first time New Braunfels hike. So I'm looking forward to it.
Dude, yeah, I mean, I love New Braunfels. I spent 4 years out there in San Antonio. It's actually where I met my wife. And New Braunfels is nice, man.
What's the feedback so far in New Braunfels, man?
Like expectation numbers?
You think it's gonna be a big one?
I mean, I would imagine you can pull people from San Antonio and Austin.
It's difficult. It's difficult because we try to get everyone to register through the Eventbrite, but a lot of people just show up sometimes, and we don't have an accurate count until we get them all registered. But I think right now the registration is up at like 150.
Oh, that's good.
Around there.
All right.
That's a good turnout. And I think the following day on Sunday, they typically do like they'll do like a brunch or something like that. But for New Braunfels, I think they're planning a river float.
Okay. Yeah.
Of course. Man, you gotta float, man.
Hey,
you gotta go float.
Got the river right there, man.
That'll do it. I got
April 30th. Man, I'm on trying to think of my calendar. I think we might have to make it out there, bro.
That sounds like a good time. Hell yeah. What else
You want me to go? You want me to go? Let me see. All right, Andrew. I know you said your dad passed. I don't want to get all dark or sad, but what's one important lesson you take away from your pops? Something that resonates,
Man,
I mean,
deep.
I just for me personally, man, when I buy into an organization, I buy into the person, right? I mean, it's clear, right? Right here. This is Charlie Mike, the podcast, and you feed off of what he is, and he's the guiding light, right? And right now you're the man in the spotlight. So, for me, I always want to. I'm lucky and blessed enough to have my father still alive. So, I try to keep that in mind. Making my wife, she lost her dad when she was like 19, and so it's something that comes to my mind and I catch. So, I'm trying to kill some time. What's a lesson that your dad taught you that you kind of carry with you? Maybe you pass down to your kids too.
I think the biggest thing that he always used to try to instill in me was to always further my education. He used to always say, like any certification or whatever opportunity to learn something, don't let it pass because it weighs nothing in your wallet. And he actually emigrated here from Portugal. I'm a first generation American.
Wow.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
So he came over, he was a plumber over there, and I think one of his first jobs he got was welding for General Dynamics in the submarine yard in Quincy. And he had no welding experience. He watched the guy do the welds, and he kind of followed behind.
Wow.
It was true fake it till you make it, and he made it. But any opportunity he had to learn, he did. And man, I used to see him around the house just taking on projects that he had no understanding of how to do, but he would figure it out. And I think that's the biggest lesson that I took away was figure it out, man. Like, don't be afraid to. Don't be afraid to fail.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah. So you said you got 4 kids. What are their ages?
So the youngest is 3, 8, 14, and 18.
Damn, you got an 18-year-old?
Yeah. Well, 2 of them are stepchildren.
Oh yeah, none.
The two youngest are mine.
Yeah. I got 4 myself. I got 3 girls and a boy, and they're not that far spread out, but it's man. Oh man. It's just today I found out she got ISS, which is in school suspension.
What?
And I'm like, you son of a life is funny that way.
Yeah. That's crazy, man. That's good stuff, man. We
Yeah.
really appreciate you being on the show, man. I'm
I
sorry. Do
appreciate
you have any?
Man, I got plenty of questions.
Go ahead, man.
We
Go
only got
ahead.
10 more minutes. I
Yeah,
mean,
no,
he's
no,
getting
no.
into it.
Trying
He's
to cut
getting
me
into his
short.
feels.
Huh?
Trying to cut me short.
No, not at all. Not at all. What do you got, man? If you wanted to say something to the people, man, you say what you want to say.
Just make it out to a hike. Forget what you heard about the organization. You need to go out and you need to see it for yourself.
Mm.
You need to experience it for yourself. And
I like that.
I think for the majority of the people that show up, don't get me wrong, this organization is not for everyone, but there's definitely something to take away from it, even if it's not for you. God damn it, that is
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, no.
I mean, I've heard of the Silky Hikes and Irreverent Warriors, and it's like I haven't made one out. I mean, I retired in 2018, and I'm just now getting back into the veteran community, and it's I was sad to miss that one. February, right? That was Val 22s.
No, that was
but
Val
the one
22s,
in Galveston, I can't remember where I was at. I
Shit,
always got something on
that
Saturday.
was a couple of weeks ago, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Just remember what I was going to say. For sure, it's a positive impact on a lot of people. I've heard plenty of stories where someone shows up and they're like, I just promised a friend that I'd be here, and I figured I'd just go do it, and then I was going to end my life after, but now I found purpose.
Yeah.
There's so many of those stories that just pop up at these events, and I mean that's what the event is you show up and it's an opportunity for you to build your own support network. You find the people that you vibe with, and that becomes your family.
Yeah, and it's putting a lot of people together that need to be together.
Yeah.
I mean,
that's crazy, man.
I was listening to someone earlier say that nobody understands a veteran than a veteran.
It's true.
It's just you just can't describe it. It's difficult to do the things that we do, especially at the most impressionable age, in between 18 and 25. Like I said, I was somewhere today and there was a guest speaker, and she was talking about it, just the way our minds develop, and what we've learned from that is that we just have to really be together. And events like these, there's never enough of. We're in Houston, and there's over 250 veteran service organizations, and there's still not enough events. Nobody does something every weekend, and I look forward to taking part of one. I'm going to try to get to the New Braunfels one.
Yeah, definitely. We're definitely going to put that one in the book. I'm serious.
And that's definitely another push that we've been trying to do is working with other veteran service organizations. We don't have a lot of resources. We have, like I said, these hikes can generate from like 50 to close to 400 people. That's veterans that show up, and then we get asked like, "Hey, I need help with this," and I'm like, "I don't know where to send you, man."
Yeah,
and it's
I
not
feel you.
It's not from lack of trying. We've reached, I think, right now about 22 is really the only VSO in this area that we work with.
Yeah,
and David's great. I love David.
It's a damn great organization, man.
And we work with One Tribe up in Dallas.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I want VSOs to show up and do their damn jobs.
I feel you.
I've put that out to other VSOs. Come to our events. This is your market. This is where you need to be. This is where we're going to help the most people.
Yeah, and I think your receptiveness a lot. I felt throughout the community, a lot of folks feel that way about some of the VSOs, and I will tell you, there are a lot that are doing a really, really, really good job.
Absolutely.
And so, I'll be remiss if I didn't put a plug that I do work for Impact to Hero, and we have a run coming up in May on Armed Forces Day, which is up the 21st. Well, it's that weekend, May 21st. So we'll connect, and I'll send you the stuff, and maybe we can get some guys showed up in some silkies and figure out what we can do for them, because we're gonna have resources, and that's the thing, is just getting the veteran community together, and doing what we do, run, talk to each other, razz each other.
Yeah,
like it's just there's just something
I'm
about
more of a walk-in guy.
I got a 5K walk for you then.
I'm more of a passenger seat guy.
Yeah, you are.
Where's that golf cart?
Yeah, that's me, man.
So You got any book recommendations?
Books.
Because
Man,
we're constantly learning, we're constantly growing.
yeah. I think I have a ton of audiobooks. The last
Well,
one I
cool.
was listening to was Conquerors. It's about the Portuguese Empire. I wanted to find out about my culture. So
Nice.
that's a pretty good book, but it's very slow. It's
Yeah.
not really exciting. But other than that, like I was into leadership books. I have all of Jocko's books, and those are all
Clearly.
good. I recommend those for leadership.
Yeah, I mean, I do too. I will say it's very military heavy though. So if
Yeah,
you're not military, it can kind of be hard to get through.
yeah.
But
It just, I mean, being an infantry guy, it
yeah,
resonated. You know what I mean?
I got you, man. I do too. But we're trying to also spread the awareness throughout the entire community. Uh,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
you'll never understand what a veteran goes through, but hey, man, if I can soften the blow for you, what's here's a good question that's pretty good. What's the best $100 buy you've had?
$100 buy.
Yeah,
Hmm.
the best thing you bought for $100.
You can't buy nothing for $100 now.
Buy a pair of
Yeah, right.
scissors.
Not these days.
That's all
Can't
that's
even get a
it.
full tank of gas.
Right.
Yeah.
Ain't lying. Ain't lying.
Man,
I know it's a hard one. I can never think of that one either.
I know I'm gonna think about it as soon as
Okay,
we're
cool.
off.
Well,
I'm gonna be like, damn it, it was
what's your biggest pet peeve? A guy that asks too many questions.
He says the guy that won't let me off the damn podcast. Yeah.
I got you for 3 more minutes.
I'd say in this realm of organizing events is when someone says, "Hey, you need to change the date because it'll work for more people," and then I change the date and those people don't show up.
Yeah. You're like, look, man, I
feel
want to
that.
go what works best for my
I feel
schedule.
that.
Okay.
That makes sense, man. Yeah.
Yeah, man. Any advice to the what's one advice you'd give to you got a 18-year-old
in
that
the
what you wish would
military,
stick? No. Your 18-year-old.
my 18, oh, save your money.
Save your money. Hey, mine's always take care of your credit, man.
Yeah.
Because you can't do shit in life without good credit, man. That's the truth.
That too, yeah. So that's the constant conversation I have with him. He's 18 now. He has his license, but he doesn't have a car. And I'm like, you keep spending your money on dumb shit.
Yeah.
I was like, if you want a car, you need 25% down at least.
Dang.
You got insurance and all that other stuff. You need to save your money.
Yeah, it's crazy, man.
So, what are ways that people can learn more about irreverent warriors? I said
That's
irrelevant.
more art, yeah.
My bad.
So on social media, we do have Instagram. I'm not on Instagram. Well, I have one, but I'm never on it. We do have an Instagram page. Mostly we're on Facebook. We have our main page, and all of our other subgroups are connected to that. So like if, let's say for instance, you're in the Austin area, you want to find out what's going on in the Austin area, you just go to the search link, you hit IW Austin, and it's Austin Round Rock. So it'll populate. And then it's the same for every subgroup. So New Braunfels is IW New Braunfels. But also you can go to the website. It's www.irreverentwarriors.com. And there's a drop down link. It'll say events. And that'll show you every single hike that's happening for the year.
Sweet.
And then if you want more information about that hike, you click on the hike itself and it'll direct you right to the Eventbrite link with all the details, and you can register right there for the hike. The hike is free unless you want a customized shirt. So each city has its own custom logo, and it's usually something that represents the city. Like Round Rock's the water tower, and a longhorn skull is Texas.
That's Texas. That's why.
So that's, if you're going to spend money, that's where you spend money, is if you want the custom swag. But otherwise, the event's completely free.
Nice, man. Yeah. Any regrets moving to Texas?
No.
Good answer.
That's right. Are you a Rangers fan or an Astros fan?
I don't follow sports.
Okay, Astros fan it is.
Yeah, you're an Astros fan.
Yeah, I hardly ever follow sports. I turned off that ESPN thing, and man, it's changed my life.
Man, yeah. Man, with that, Andrew, man, we want to tell you, man, thank you for being on the show. We appreciate you coming on and spending some time with us. And and sharing what you have to share, man. Thank you for your service, and Terry, thank you for yours.
Better think that, man.
Yeah, better or else.
He will show up at the event.
Yeah, I'm surprised he ain't here right now.
He's so quiet.
Yeah. With that,
Thanks for having
man,
me
thank
on.
you.
It's a pleasure, dude.
Yeah, thanks.
Thanks, brother.
It's good talk.
Charlie Mike, stay on, man.
All right.
With that, guys, we want to tell everybody thank you for tuning in. Hey, be sure to follow us on every social media platform. We're on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, Twitch.
I'm making them work.
Yeah.
I'm putting that man to work now.
Yeah, so be sure to follow us all. If you missed it all, and it'll be available on all podcast platforms as of tomorrow morning. So be sure to drop us a comment and let us know, man, if y'all want who you think we should bring on next and things of that nature.
Yeah. We've got some pretty good guest lists growing, and of course, there's more interest because of the mustaches here now. But no, really appreciate you guys. Your comments, your feedback really drives the show. Raul, good job, man.
Share.
That's right. God bless.
As always, Charlie Mike.